Some student in Berkeley once asked me, why is Judaism so hung up on sex? This is Berkeley in the 70s. And on the table, their campus newspaper was lying there. 4 articles on the front page were about how to have more sex, better sex. So wait a minute. Who's obsessed? If you're talking about sex, you don't need a Shulchan Aruch, you don't need Svarim, you don't need wisdom, you don't need rules, and you don't need advice. If you're talking about intimacy, now we need a little help, because that's an ambitious plan. That we need to understand. This we need to digest thoroughly. What does this mean? How do you go there? How do you get there? Yeah, for this we need a little. So the Torah tells us a number of things. Never be intimate when you're angry. Never be intimate when you're not in the mood. Never be intimate with the lights on. Never be intimate if you're a little fashikerd. Never be intimate if you're thinking about somebody or something else. There are rules. And what do all these rules do? They protect you from getting distracted by things. That's why we have to have this conversation. Let's see. Can you address the Torah view on intimacy for women dealing with shame in regards to their body and private area? While growing up in an unhealthy amount of shame built up when being taught about tznius and hearing how bad it was to wear too tight clothing or always being covered up, being a really good guy, good girl who is sensitive to these topics while developing caused a deep discomfort that doesn't quite go away fully when it comes to being intimate. Please shed some Torah insight on this topic to contemplate and try to get rid of this shame with a healthy intimate life. You see, there are 2 completely different realities. Let's say that you're really ashamed of your body. And psychologically, that's a horrible thing. You talk to a psychiatrist and he will panic. You're ashamed of your body? Emergency. It's a catastrophe. You have to be comfortable with your body. It's not such an emergency. Can you have perfectly good intimacy even when you're ashamed of your body? Yes, of course. The body is just a thing. It's not you. Intimacy involves you and him. If the body becomes a thing in your mind, it's getting in the way of intimacy. So how do you get it out of the way? Not by having a good image of your body. A good image of your body will also get in the way. Because a body is a body, it's a thing. The way to get it out of the way is by not making a thing out of it. What's the difference? In intimacy, he's not interested in your body. He's interested in you. Then there's nothing wrong with you. He certainly doesn't think there's anything wrong with you. So if you're distracted because you're worried about your body, well, then you're letting something come between you. In a perfect, ideal world, a man can be married to his wife for 70 years and he never saw her body. And they are therefore happily married. and have real intimacy. Because intimacy does not involve a body, seeing a body, your opinion of a body. That's totally irrelevant. It's not a beauty contest. So to make a big deal about the shame over your body, or getting comfortable with your body, or loving your body, don't even go there. It's bad enough that you suffered when you were a teenager, because then you were conscious of your body. But now you're in a world of intimacy. The body has lost all its importance. It's you that counts, not something about you. Also, the thing we started off with, what they were telling you about your body being unholy and not sneas and so on, that's true outside of marriage. In other words, if anybody showed an interest in your body outside of marriage, that was very bad. Because that pleasure or that attraction is not uplifting, it's degrading. So yes, avoid that. But what does that have to do with marriage? The pleasure that you're getting in the intimacy of the marriage, that takes you up, not down. That makes you bigger than a body, not more of a body. Get back to who, not what.
Was the question asking if she's ashamed to be unsneers? Not that she's ashamed of her body, she's just ashamed to be unsneers.
We never are unsneers. Why would you ever be unsneers?
It's not what we're taught.
Woo. Intimacy between husband and wife does not involve a lack of tznius. Any more than taking a shower is unsneus.
Some people want their husband to be attracted to their body. Saying, where does that come from? Like,
Where does it come from? I'll give you two guesses.
It's not from, it's not Torah God says?
Not at all.
It says like Yaakov loved Rachel, she was beautiful. It always says they're beautiful.
There is nothing wrong with being beautiful. But if beauty is your thing, then don't get married. Then just be beautiful. Just walk around being beautiful. If you're getting married, it's because being beautiful is not nearly good enough. You want someone, not something. And beauty is a thing. And if your husband is marrying you for your beauty, you're off to a bad start. Because he doesn't want you, he just wants the beauty.
So the
Like to show you off.
The Torah doesn't waste the words. Why would they go out of the way to explain that she was beautiful or she looked good? What was it showing?
We're talking about tzaddikim here.
Right.
So the first thing we have to know is that we're not talking about regular beauty. We're talking about the kind of beauty that a tzaddik appreciates. Which means a perfect combination of a spiritual beauty that shows in the physical. So her beauty was important because it was her beauty.
That can get lost when you're telling that to a seventh grader
Oh yeah.
and eighth grader, and I'm saying that's
Yeah, but at some point, every kid in the school has to learn that there's something more than things. And certainly when you're treating people, you have to get past things. We tell children, even very young children, that if they see someone who's, God forbid, crippled, How should they react? What should they think? What do we tell them? Person is missing a leg. But it's a person. And you treat them like a person. One leg, two legs, what's the difference? Right? That's what we're trying to convince them, that that's a person is a person, with or without a leg. If they can handle that, they can certainly handle your mother loves you even though you're not so beautiful. Or your mother thinks you're beautiful because of you. So the you should be the primary concern. The outcome is, if you are so precious, then all the things about you become important. It's like the expression, if you harm a hair on her head, I'll kill you. Really? Over a hair? I'll give you another hair. I'll replace the hair. No. It's not hair. It's her. On her head, every hair is precious. Otherwise, hair is... don't buy me some hair. Make sense? He makes things important. Things will never make him important. That's like saying, I love him and he's important to me because he has money. Then he is not important. It's just the money. Do you have any names or referrals for sex therapists? I really don't. Before you go to a sex therapist, I'm not even sure what that is, speak to a mashpia, but just to somebody who knows what's going on. It's a little safer. You never know what a sex therapist is gonna, what they believe or what they think. So if there's a physical problem, if there's a technical problem, a regular doctor might be good. So be cautious. When somebody hangs up a sign, sex therapist, you got to be cautious. Please explain what you mean when women should not have to wear lingerie to impress their husbands. There are basic pretty underwear, and there are more racier kinds. The latter I can understand why a woman might feel a bit grub, but pretty underwear is not okay. Huh?
He doesn't see you, he doesn't see you.
Right. I don't know which conversation or tape you're referring to, but what you wear, of course, can be really enjoyable, pleasurable, like any clothing. But if clothing has become so important to your husband, then something's wrong. Why? Particularly a kala. Your husband of one night already needs you to dress up, otherwise you're not interesting? Oh, this is not good news. So any advice, whether it's lingerie or something else, any advice where a kala is told, do this, he'll really like it. Wrong. Don't do anything. He's interested in you. Why do you need things to get him interested? That's sad. That's desperate. It sounds like he's losing interest in you, so you have to introduce some things to get his attention. Oh, come on, that's very sad. So if you choose your garments, if you choose your clothing, if you choose your pajamas because you like them and you think they're beautiful, fine. It shouldn't make any difference to him, and you shouldn't be doing it for him. But from the way people are advised, it sounds like you're already desperate. You already have to do something or buy something to get him interested in you. That's the beginning of the end. That's really not necessary. And it's putting some very unhealthy thoughts into your head. What else do I have to do to get his attention? This is just be you. He's marrying you, not what you buy in a store.